With the NHL trade deadline just 3 days away now, Flames fans are begging for some huge trades. And while all the talk is about the Flames assets, most notably Noah Hanifin and Jacob Markstrom, we finally have a new report that shows what the Flames might be interested in come deadline day. What are the Flames going to target? How are they going to add to this team to make it better, not only for now, but for the future? Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe because 85% of the people watching are not subscribed. So if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around the Calgary Flames, then make sure you stick around to become part of the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet. But like I said, all the talk is about what the Flames have and where their players will go. Well, now we finally have a report that shows, hey, maybe Conroy and the rest of the management are looking at other teams of what they can bring into this team. So we have a new trade target for the Flames. A new trade target has been revealed. And you've probably seen it from the thumbnail. We'll never clickbait you with a thumbnail or anything, but it is, of course, Mr. Colton Parayko. So this is from David Pagnotta, and he works for the NHL Network and the Fourth Period. Very reliable source, and he's reported that the Maple Leafs, Senators, and Flames are believed to have interest in Colton Parayko. And it's funny that it's those three teams, because all three of those teams are in kind of different places. The Maple Leafs, definitely seen as more of a contender. They should be a guaranteed playoff team. The Sens, more of a bottom feeder. They really don't have a shot at making the playoffs this season, but apparently the rebuild's over. We'll see. And the Flames are kind of a bit of a bubble team. They're close to making the playoffs. They're almost in a wild card spot, but they are probably going to be sellers at the deadline. So it's interesting that those three teams are kind of pinned up against each other in these Parayko talks. But of course, here on Flames Digest, we will stick to the Flames aspect of it. So why would Calgary be interested in Colton Parayko? Well, there's a lot of rumblings about who the Flames will give away. And obviously Noah Hanifin is one of those guys. And Chris Tanev is already one of those guys that they have given away. And so the Flames, I know in all these trades, what Flames fans want back is, a good score and all that. But if both Hanifin and Tanev are gone, then the Flames do need defense back. Colton Parayko, a perfect replacement for Chris Tanev. So let's take a deeper look into his facts. So he's 30 now, a little bit younger than Tanev, but he's still not exactly a young buck. He's from close by in St. Albert, Canada, so obviously it won't be a problem of an American needing to go down to the US at any point. And the big thing here is that if you go a little further down, he shoots right. Now, obviously, he's a big guy, 6'6", 230 pounds pretty much, but he shoots right, just like Chris Tanev. And right shot D-men are harder to come by. And so this could be a very good replacement. You see the cap hit down there as well, though, 6.5 mil. So obviously, he is not cheap. And he's also, it's not as though he's not cheap for just this season. He's not a rental. That's why I'm not sure if he totally fits in with Toronto. Maybe they'll be looking more for a rental. I don't know if they can afford Parayko, let alone some of the players of less caliber, you could say. Ottawa, they kind of did this with Jacob Chychrun. So does this mean Chychrun is on the way out this year after he came in last year? Potentially, and Parayko could come in and be a replacement. Who knows? But the Flames part of this is very cool. But let's continue on the cap there. So this is his current contract. So 6.5 mil, and it carries for another 6 seasons after this one. So 6.5 mil, it never changes. It's always 6.5. And it's interesting. So the Flames, especially if they do end up trading away Noah Hanifin and Jacob Markstrom, they will easily be able to afford Parayko, even if it's just Hanifin that leaves, even with a little bit of salary retention. The Flames should be able to afford him. I'm not totally sure if that's what the Flames want to do. I mean, bring in another big contract, not 100% sure, but at least it would mean you have your big guy that they need, because the Flames have a lot of good defensive prospects and they keep bringing them in. You look at Hunter Brustevich, more of an offensive guy. Imagine how he could play with Parayko. That could be a pretty good dynamic there. Either way, it's cool and it's fun to hear that the Flames are actually interested in other players instead of just all the interest is on the Flames, all the pressure is on the Flames to make some trades. maybe the Flames will be making some outbound calls and trying to acquire something great for this team. I mean, obviously it depends on what they give up, but Parayko could be a huge, great replacement for Chris Tanev if the Flames want to be competitive for the foreseeable future, not kind of more in this retooling thing and then going with the prospects, which I'm assuming they will still do, of course, but Parayko can come in now, and he can be for the next few years until his contract is up 6 years from now. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Would, as a Flames fan, or if you are part of the Flames management, would you want to bring Colton Parayko as a replacement for Chris Tanev, or should the Flames just be pure sellers at the deadline? We're only 3 days away, only 3 more days of these trade videos, trade speculation videos anyway, and we're almost there through it. But let's get to the next chapter of this video. So notes from last night. Now, obviously, the Flames, they played the Seattle Kraken last night, a team that they've been very good against ever since Seattle came into the league. You know, hosting Seattle off a 5-game win streak should have been a piece of cake, and of course it wasn't. The Flames lost 4-2. Not a fantastic game. The Flames were really slow to start once again, but unlike the game on Saturday against Pittsburgh, the Flames just couldn't claw it back in the third. It was good to see Kuzmenko get a couple goals, which was fantastic. You know, it's great to see him scoring, but other than that, there really wasn't anything too notable that's positive. Now, the big notable thing that happened last night was, of course, Martin Pospisil. And in case you missed it, late in the third, he threw a big hit on Vince Dunn, head first into the boards, as you can see there. In that screen cap, you can barely even see Dunn's head. So clearly it was head first. Pospisil has been, you know, in a little bit of trouble earlier this season when I think it was a cross-check to the face is how you could define it, against Brad Marchand back when the Flames were playing in Boston. And he was rewarded with a contract extension the next day. This time around, though, I think there will be some supplementary discipline, as from the NHL player safety, Calgary's Martin Pospisil will have a hearing tomorrow for boarding Seattle's Vince Dunn. So they're calling it boarding. You can kind of say that boarding is definitely what the rule would say, but the fact that his head went first into the boards is what makes this worse. And the fact that Pospisil is somewhat of a repeat offender. He's never been suspended before, but now that he's had discipline multiple times, been ejected multiple times, there's definitely a chance that he will get suspended this time. Hopefully it'll be seen as more of a learning experience, and maybe Pospisil can realize what his hits are doing, because he threw some great hits in that game. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was 5 seconds into the game when he absolutely plowed Adam Larsson. It was fantastic, but maybe he does need to learn what is a clean hit in order to be the great guy. He kind of brings the same energy that Michael Ferland did almost a decade ago now. But, I mean, obviously Pospisil didn't want anything to do with fighting, so in that way he's a little bit different. But either way, Pospisil, I think, might get a small suspension here. It's not an in-person hearing, which I don't know if that'll affect the result of what the hearing will be or what the discipline will be, but no matter what, expect Pospisil to most likely get a small suspension out of the hit on Dunn. The last thing we'll look at in this video is a quick Hanifin update. Now, rumblings around the league are, and I wish I can remember the original source, but I couldn't find it again before recording. But rumblings around the league are that Noah Hanifin is very close to being dealt to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Whether that happens today or tomorrow, there's a strong chance. Obviously, the Flames play against the Lightning on Thursday, the eve of the trade deadline. So it would be very interesting to see if Hanifin is not suited up in that game and if he's a member of the Lightning by then. Also, at the time of recording this, I've just seen that Joel Hanley has been picked up by the Flames, which is interesting because he can be seen as a replacement for Hanifin. So that only solidifies these speculations that Hanifin will probably be on the way out. He's a left shot D. There's a strong chance he can come into the lineup right away. He's picked up off waivers from the Dallas Stars. So look at that. Tanev goes to the Stars. Flames pick up Hanley as a replacement for potentially Hanifin, or you could see it as a replacement for Tanev, depending on how you want to look at it. But either way, this defensive carousel that's going on is ridiculous. And Hanifin, I'm not going to guarantee it, but strong speculation is that he will be a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning by the trade deadline. That about does it for this video. We will keep you obviously extremely updated with the Hanifin situation. We are keeping a close eye on that, and we will let you know. So make sure you subscribe if you want to stay tuned for any of that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day.